Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel and back to another week of meals video. This meal is from Monday, and usually I don't cook on Monday because that's our busy day that we go to our homeschool co-op. But I had this nice roast sitting in the fridge, and I thought it would be really easy to just throw it into the Instant Pot before we left in the morning, and then it would be ready to go for dinner that night. So this is a chuck roast. I think it was like 3.5 pounds maybe. I just seasoned it with salt and pepper before I sauteed it in the Instant Pot. I'm using my 8-quart Duo Crisp. I just browned each side for about 5 minutes. And then after it was browned, I added on the garlic powder and onion powder. I didn't add that originally just because I didn't want it to burn on the bottom. Sometimes when you have garlic powder and onion powder on your meat, it can burn when you're browning. So I just added that on the top. I threw in some herbs, a bay leaf, some rosemary, and some thyme. And then I added in about 2 cups of bone broth. It was very jiggly bone broth, hard to get out of the jar. I put it on pressure cook for 1 hour, and then it ended up sitting on keep warm mode for almost 6 hours before I got home and was able to open up the pot. Of course, it was absolutely fall apart tender and delicious. I did want to reduce down that liquid in there to make it more like a sauce, so I turned it on saute mode and let it simmer for maybe 20 minutes or so. And it reduced nicely. The only thing was that the sauce was a little bit salty, so next time I'll probably just add less salt originally, and then at the end you can always taste it and add more salt if more salt is needed. Then after the roast was done, I went ahead and did brown rice in the same pot. My cook time for brown rice is 23 minutes. That usually works out pretty well. And I do a 1-to-1 ratio of rice to water plus a little pinch of salt. So that was dinner at the end of our busy Monday. We just had some raw veggies as a veggie side, and the rice and the roast, and it was delicious. I'm doing a really quick and easy dinner tonight. I'm using up leftovers. This is just the leftover roast beef from the other night and the leftover brown rice. I stir fried it up with some chili powder and just a little bit of salsa that I had in the fridge that needed to be used up. And I am putting it into burritos, and I still have some of this sharp white cheddar, so I'm just adding a little bit of cheddar to each one and rolling them up, and then I am grilling them over here on my Cuisinart griddler. I love using parchment paper on my griddler, and then I don't even have to wash it. It's so easy, and this will be a really quick and easy dinner, getting rid of some leftovers that no one was going to eat if they sat in the fridge. So today is the last day of February, and that means new grocery budget starts tomorrow. So I am trying to clean out the fridge of all the perishables that just need to get used up. So I pulled out cucumbers that I'll just cut up for eating fresh, carrots, they're starting to grow a little bit, get those peeled and cut up for eating fresh, as well as for a soup. These potatoes were from our imperfect produce box, and they are actually pretty imperfect, so they're going to take a lot of trimming and peeling, of course. But I had on my meal plan the quinoa lentil stew, but I have these potatoes that need to be used up. So I think I'm going to do a potato ham soup instead, because I have some containers of chopped up ham all ready to throw into a soup in the freezer from a few weeks ago. And so that'll just be easy and get these used up. I'm going to cut up some celery for the soup, and any leftover is going to be for just crunchy eating. And then I got these mini bell peppers. These were from our Imperfect Produce box as well. I'll just cut those up for the kids to eat. I have one onion that will go into the soup. And once I work through all of this stuff, my fridge will be pretty cleared out and ready for our big grocery shopping haul tomorrow. I'm going to be doing a whole video on that, so you can look for details on that soon. But I'm kind of experimenting with how I do my grocery shopping. I downloaded an app where I'm able to see all the different ads for different stores for the week, and just trying to shop the sales more and, you know, do the legwork to get the best deals on things. Now that I'm not quite so busy with writing a cookbook, I have more time to be able to put into finding things at the best price. So I'm going to be doing a big Costco haul, but I'm also going to be running around to a few different local stores to pick up the things that are on sale and stock up that way. And we'll see if in the end it saves us money on our grocery budget. Okay, that was a lot of chopping. I got all of our fresh munching veggies. These are all of the veggies for the soup. There's celery underneath the carrots and onions there, and a ton of potatoes. I had to peel those pretty heavily, but there were still a lot. They were big potatoes. So this is going to be my first thing that I cook in my brand new Duo Evo Plus Instant Pot. This is the replacement of my previous Duo Evo Plus that died. I did a couple of videos on that whole experience. I'll put those up in the cards if you're curious about that. But this, I just opened the box of this new one yesterday. It came yesterday in the mail. And so this is my first time using it. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the saute mode so it can start heating up, and I'm gonna saute up all of these veggies and then add in everything else. And it's potato soup in the Instant Pot, especially if you're using a pre-cooked meat like ham. It's super, super fast and easy. Since I have so many potatoes and tons of veggies, I'm doing what would be probably a double batch of the soup. So I'm gonna use both of my containers of frozen ham, about 8 cups of broth. I'm kind of just throwing the soup together, not really following a recipe, just trying to use up what I have. I might add some more broth if it looks like I need it. I got some avocado oil in the bottom of my pot. Just gonna saute this up real quick. Not completely necessary. If you want to just do a dump and go recipe, you totally can. You just get a little bit more flavor if you saute up the veggies before you start. All right, we'll see how all this fits. This is going to be pretty full. I am using my 8-quart Instant Pot, so hopefully everything will fit, but it might be a tight squeeze, and I might need to wait for this ham to defrost. We'll have to see. All right, there are all the potatoes. Hopefully that ham will defrost and the pot won't be quite so full. I might leave it on saute for a little bit to let that happen before I close the lid and try to pressure cook. The spices I'm going to use are some garlic and black pepper, some thyme, and salt. I'm not really going to measure, just going to throw it in until it looks like enough. All right, the liquid is right at the max line, so I'm not going to be too concerned about how full it is, because the liquid is the main thing that you want to worry about when you're looking at the max line. I'm going to cancel, pressure cook, we'll go to soup, and I'm going to do 6 minutes at high pressure, and I think that'll be plenty. It'll probably sit on keep warm mode for a little while until I'm ready to deal with it. So typically with my potato soups, I do half and half, or heavy cream or coconut milk to do the creaminess, but I am out of all of those right now. So I'm going to blend in some cream cheese for the creaminess. I also have some more of this extra sharp white cheddar that needs to be used up. So I figured I'd make it a cheesy potato ham soup, which I'm sure will make everyone happy. So after the cook time finishes and I let it, sit on keep warm mode for a little while, releasing pressure, I will open it up and get all that mixed in until it's all melted. And I'll probably still use some arrowroot starch to thicken it up a little bit. And then that'll be it. The other thing I have going over here is making some Jalapeno poppers. These were also from our imperfect produce box, and I just need to get them used up. So I'm making some jalapeno poppers for my husband. I'm going to be using some of the cream cheese from here. I have a half here and a whole here. I'll just cut these in half and scoop out the seeds, fill them up with cream cheese, and then wrap them in bacon, and I'm going to be cooking them in my air fryer. So there are lots of different kinds of jalapeno popper recipes out there with sausage and cheese and spices and all kinds of stuff, but I wanted to keep it super simple, and so just cream cheese, bacon, and jalapeno. It's still got all the flavor. It's got like the creaminess, it's got the umami from the bacon, the saltiness, the spiciness from the jalapeno. So really, I don't think you need a whole lot more than those three elements, and it just keeps it super simple. So I'm going to put it in my air fryer. This is my Vortex 6-quart Instant Pot air fryer. And I'm thinking, I haven't done these exactly like this in the air fryer before, so I'm thinking I'll do 8 minutes at 400 degrees. I think that'll probably be fine. Usually when I just cook slices of bacon, it takes about 6 minutes. So I think 8 minutes, since the bacon's all wrapped up like this, will probably work. I think I'll do 2 batches, just in case these ones burn or something. And then I can perfect the cook time on the next batch. Air fry. Oops, already on 8 minutes. Start. So I probably could have gotten away with using just half a slice of bacon per jalapeno popper, but the bacon will shrink up when it cooks, of course, and more bacon makes it better. Anyways, so as far as measurements, I had 7 jalapenos, which made 14 halves, and then I had 4 ounces of cream cheese that it took to fill all of those halves, and then I used almost 1 pound of bacon. I just have 2 slices left over, so if you want to make it, that's good ingredient ratios. Here's what our fridge is looking like on the day before our first of the month grocery shopping trip. Pretty empty for us. Usually we have it packed full. My produce drawers, the only thing I have in here is some more celery. I had a lot of that apparently. I've got my freezer breakfast sandwiches, which we still have a fair amount in the freezer right now. The leftover burritos that I cooked last night, and then various condiments, pickles for Talia that she loves. A few leftovers. These are some burger patties that I formed, but I haven't cooked yet. We had a store recently had a sale on eggs, and they were 99 cents a dozen, and there was no limit, so I stocked up on eggs. And I know 99 cents a dozen isn't cheap for a lot of places in the country, but for us here, that's about as cheap as we ever see it. If a dozen eggs is ever below $1, it's super cheap. So I try to stock up. I still have fair amount of meat items, a few more of these sausages, some tortillas. I have more tortillas in the freezer too. I picked up these the other day because they were a really good markdown price at Fred Meyer, regular $4.79, on sale for $2.39. So that was a good deal for bacon, and then a few cheeses. So anyways, we are due for a stock up. Cook time ended. Ooh, those look nice. Those look really good. They could be a tiny bit crispier. I might do 2 more minutes. We'll see what it looks like after 2 minutes. All right, I'm going to call that good, and the next ones I will cook for 10 minutes. Perfection. The soup's been sitting on keep warm mode for 13 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and quick release the rest of the pressure. So my first test run of this new pot worked perfectly. Everything was great. I did end up going over the max fill line with the liquid, so I'll just say right here, don't try this at home. Do it at your own risk. It is against the manufacturer's instructions. I'm going to add the all the cheeses and let those melt, and then I'll see how much thickening it needs after that. I've got 3 tablespoons of the arrowroot starch. Just going to get that stirred in. It should thicken it plenty. And the cream cheese is almost melted in. It always takes a while. Acts like it doesn't want to melt, but then it always does eventually.
Mom, can I just eat some peppers and cucumbers and carrots?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yay!
Next time I'd probably not add quite so much broth. Sometimes it's hard to tell how much broth will end up after everything cooks down. I added 9 cups, I think, and that was a little too much. But it's still going to be delicious. So this is going to wrap it up for my dinners for the week video. Thanks for hanging out in the kitchen with me this week. It was another different week. It seems like every week it turns out to be a little bit different. I ended up doing a lot of cooking on the weekend, but I also cooked on Monday, which I don't normally do. But everyone got fed and everyone's happy, so it all worked out. Thanks for hanging out. I will talk to you again real soon.
Bye.
What are you eating?
Cucumbers?
Cucumbers? Are you doing hummus with them?
I'll have some.
Yeah, you should.